Welcome to the One Girl Travel Podcast, episode number 73.
Welcome to the One Girl Travel Podcast, your passport to the world of solo travel, with certified life and travel coach, Alessia Tenebruso. Join Alessia as she shares her own journey of self-discovery through solo travel, while also focusing on topics such as life coaching insights and travel tips along the way. Now, here's your host, Alessia Tenebruso.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode number 73 of the One Girl Travel Podcast. Have you ever felt like you failed? I feel like that's a very vague question because we probably all felt like that from time to time. But have you ever felt that feeling where you tried something and it didn't work out the way you wanted it to? And you just thought to yourself, why did I do that? So embarrassed. Why? I should never do that. Why? What am I doing? That is something that I have experienced many times in my life. Even now, after all the work that I've done over the past, geez, like 12 years, it still comes up. It's still real. And honestly, it happened recently to me. Last week, I was invited to come and do the social media and behind the scenes of my mentor's event in North Carolina. And I got to do it, and I was so excited. Um, and she also gave me the privilege of introducing her to over 350 people on the virtual conference. And I wasn't really prepared in advance, but I did write down what I wanted to say. I had it in my phone, went over it a few times, and I saw all the faces on Zoom looking at me, and I I hit my mark and the countdown went on. I started in my introduction and I start talking really fast. When I get nervous, I talk really, really fast. And I started losing my place in what I wanted to say because I wanted to make sure I hit everything that I had written down because I didn't want to miss anything. I wanted to do a good job. This was my first time doing it. And I was going so fast. And then I was like, as I'm saying what I wanted to say in my head, I'm like, what are you doing? You're messing up. Why? Like, what's going on? And then it was over, in a matter of a minute. It was over. I walked off stage. I took a breath and I was trembling while I was doing it. And I went in the back and I took a breath and I was like, okay, I did it. And I caught myself. I caught myself before I can get too many negative thoughts into my brain because at first I wanted to tell myself, wow, you failed. That sucked. You did a terrible job. You're never going to be good at this. And I stopped all of those. I stopped them all. And I told myself, hey, this was your first time doing this. This was your first time ever doing something like this. And you did it. You just did it a little fast. That's okay. It's okay just to go a little fast because you're nervous. It's okay. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And I had to turn around my thoughts because if I allowed myself to go down the original route, which was you're a failure, you suck, you should never do this, what's going to happen? I'm probably going to avoid public speaking for the rest of my life. But I want to public speak. That is something that's high on my list of things to do in my career. I want to talk on stages. I want to hold my own conferences. Of course, I want my own group trips where I am addressing many people at once. So I had to get over this. And I had to get over the thought of failure because I was scared. Now, I also want you to think about if you're scared of doing something and the opportunity comes to you, what are you going to say? How are you going to respond to the invitation to do something that is really, really scary? You've never done it before. Are you going to embrace it and try it even though you're scared? Or are you going to be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pass. Because if that's something is something that your soul wants to do, if it lights you up, even though it terrifies you, I want you to do it anyway. And I've talked about this many times about doing it scared. This was something I had to do scared because I need to learn. I need to get my hours in practicing talking in front of people. It's not like the podcast where I can, stop the record button, edit out my mistakes. No, it's real life. You have to learn how to relay your message to many people and be okay with it. And if you screw up, that's life. You're only human. You keep going. You don't stop just because you mess up something. And that's something that I really was reflecting on after my introduction because I was like, wow, okay, I did it and didn't go exactly how I wanted it to, but I did it. I said everything I needed to say. I just was a little anxious while doing it. And actually after that, after we were done with the event, I decided to go live on Instagram, which is also something that really doesn't feel comfortable to me, honestly. I don't know what exactly it is about going live on social media in general. I worry about not having the right things to say or something not interesting enough or getting sidetracked with my thoughts or not having anybody to talk to and I'm just talking to myself, which I'm doing right now, so I guess it really wouldn't matter. And as I was thinking about all of those reasons why I don't do it, I'm like, okay, I need to force myself to do it. So I went live and I did it for a few minutes and it was fine. I survived. I lived, right? And now I have practice under my belt. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing the things that feel uncomfortable because I want those things in my life. Let's say you want to start working out and you go and you try to, go and do a bench press and the weight feels really heavy and you feel really uncomfortable. Maybe you're not sure of the form. Maybe you're just paranoid that people are looking at you, whatever. And you do it and it might not look the way you wanted it to look, or you might not have as many reps as you wanted to do, but you still did it. And the next time you do it, it's going to be a little bit easier. So I just want to remind you that you should just embrace those things you want to do and do them anyway, even if it's not perfect, even if you're scared or embarrassed, nervous, whatever it is, just keep going and do it. Um, because it ultimately can get you closer to your goals. And often I have these conversations with people in my life where they tell me, I can't do that. I've never done it before. I don't know how. Don't know how to do it. And I tell them, like, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. I don't care if you don't know how to do it, you figure it out. If it's something that you want bad enough, you need to figure it out. And you're going to mess it up. It's not going to be perfect, but you keep trying, you keep learning, you keep expanding your knowledge each time you make a mistake, because then you learn how to pivot and do it better the next time. I never want to hear anyone say that you're not capable of doing something. There is the internet out there that literally teaches you anything you need to know. There's no excuse. If there's something you want to do the research and figure it out. Practice, put it out there for the world to see, and then do it better the next time. It's most likely not going to be perfect the first time you do it. And that's okay because you need to keep going and you need to keep practicing and you'll get better and better as you go. Now, the same goes for solo travel. The first time I solo traveled, I was scared to death. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. There wasn't many resources for me when I began that process of solo travel. And I just showed up and I figured it out. And the thing that really guides me on everything was just what feels good? What do I want to do? Let that be your guide to the next actions you take, because most likely your body is going to give you the correct information for what you need. Now, don't let feeling nervous or scared prevent you from doing those things. But be aware when something feels really just not good. Like there's a difference between uneasy and like that pit in your stomach that is telling you this is not good for you versus like just that bit of nervousness or anxiousness when you're doing something new and it's exciting, but you want to throw up at the same time. Just that feeling, I want you to embrace, like, because that's how you're going to know, like, okay, this is big. This is a big deal. I'm doing something that I've never done before. So I'm going to have all the feels when I'm doing it. And that's okay. But yeah, definitely let your gut help you make your decisions because you don't want to do things that really feel terrible because then you're just forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do. And that goes into, tolerating things that don't serve you. And we never want to do that for ourselves. The main purpose of today's podcast episode is really just to remind you that you are capable, you are smart enough, creative enough, whatever it is you need to do, you can do it. Do not let the things you haven't done limit what you want to do. Don't let them hold you back just because you haven't done it, just because you haven't had the evidence to prove that you're able to do something. Because there's evidence all around you that you can pull from. It might not be the same scenario, but there's other examples out there that show that you're capable. And I've mentioned this in other podcasts when it goes for solo traveling. Maybe you haven't solo traveled before, but maybe you navigated a new city before. Maybe you haven't met, made new friends as an adult, but maybe you went to a work event and you were able to network. It's all related. It's all experience. It's all practice. It's all going to get you closer to where you want to go. And I just want to be transparent because even somebody like me who is a coach and has done this work for a long time, it's, sometimes those thoughts creep in where you don't feel good enough, or maybe the result you got was not the result you wanted. And that doesn't mean you stop. You didn't fail because the result wasn't what you wanted. You only fail if you don't do it or you give up. And again, this goes to why are you doing something? Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to host the event? Why do you want to start the podcast? Why do you want to solo travel? Why do you want to start a relationship? Whatever it is, what is your reason for doing it? And is that reason powerful enough to allow you to embrace discomfort? Do not give up on yourself because you're scared or you didn't do it the right way. Do it the way that you want to do it. You do not have to follow what everybody else is doing. And that's something that I also really focused on this past weekend after talking uh, to a few people in my life that I have been doing certain things because I thought I should be doing them that way. I've never been an entrepreneur before. It's never been my full-time job to be an entrepreneur. And I based a lot of my actions in my business on what I've seen work for other people that I admire and I love what they do. So I'm like, okay, I should follow that because it works for them and I love it. But then I do it and I implement it into my business and I don't always love it. I'll invest money in programs or software, whatever, and I'll hate it. And let's be super transparent. Remember how I had my monthly newsletter that I absolutely loved putting out to all of you? I loved that newsletter. Loved it. It was my pride and joy. I don't know why I'm getting emotional talking about this newsletter. Um, but I was advised not to do it. That I shouldn't put out a monthly newsletter. That I should do a weekly newsletter. And I shouldn't put so much effort into my monthly newsletter. And I resisted for a while and then a lot was going on. So I'm like, all right, let me stop with the monthly newsletter. And I it, it never felt right to me. It never felt right. And even though it works for other people with their companies, for me, that newsletter was something really special. And I'm bringing it back. Like that was just like, it felt like a gift that I shared with the community. And I felt like I lost that when I stopped doing it. And there's a lot more to it, but it's just, I realized that I was forcing myself to do things that I thought I should be doing rather, and like hoping it would feel better eventually. So, like, forcing myself to do things that didn't feel good, but I thought I should be doing it. I was shoulding myself, like, stop doing that. Um, So yeah, I thought it was the right thing to do, and then I realized that I hated this new route that I took, and this does not feel good. It does not feel in alignment. It feels very off, and it shifted how I felt about doing some of the things I needed to do in my business. And then it was almost like I needed permission to shift to what I actually wanted to do. And I know that sounds crazy. You do not need permission. You don't need permission from anybody. Give yourself the permission to do whatever feels good to you. And I mean, I'm living proof of that, guys. So I'm giving myself the permission to do whatever the hell I want to do with my business, whatever feels in alignment with me, because I want to be authentic. I want to attract the people that are the right fit for my community and for my trips and all of that. And I can't do that unless I am showing up as my most authentic self and putting out the most authentic content that just is in alignment with One Girl Travel and myself. So, okay, got off on a little tangent there. But even like these podcasts, honestly, I never write out scripts for the podcast. I go for what's going on currently, what's top of mind, and this was truly top of mind. This was a powerful weekend. Actually, last week and this weekend, there's just a lot going on at once, and a lot of shifts are being made, and I'm excited for those shifts because they're all focused on what I want and what feels good and what I want to provide to the One Girl Travel community, to all of you. So there's going to be changes. I appreciate you being here and following along and dealing with me if I'm, stop something, start something, because it's all a learning progress. Like, it's just you learn as you go and you figure it out. And you make pivots and you stop or you start, whatever it is. But I'm just going to keep going and figure out what the right recipe is for this. And I want you to do the same. Figure out what feels good. Don't worry about how you should be doing anything. What's your version of your own recipe? Like, what do you want to do? How can you make this process, whatever it is you want to do, most alignment with who you are as a person? And if you have a business, also in alignment with your business, with your morals, your values. That all needs to come in together to create the outcome. And it might feel scary going rogue and doing things in unconventional ways because you don't have the evidence that it'll work. But the only way you'll get that evidence is if you try. And even if you don't get the results you hope for, if it feels good to you, you know you're on the right path and you can make changes along the way. And yeah, it's a lot, but it's okay. It's okay. You just keep on going. And I encourage all of you to not give up on your goals because you're scared or because it's not going the way you want to. Just learn how to make those tweaks. Keep going after it. Just don't give up. Don't give up. It's worth it. Your dreams are worth the effort. You are worth the effort. This is your time. I like, it's so crazy how fast time goes by. Like, it's already mid-May. The time is flying by, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. We have to make the most of our lives. That's what you desire. If you want a life well lived, you have to figure out what's important to you. What do you want to do in this lifetime? Stop waiting. Just start taking action on your life, even if you're scared, even if you're uncomfortable, even if you don't do it the right way. Just do it. And I'm going to leave you with that because that was a lot to take in, I'm sure. So let me know what topics you want to hear on the One Girl Travel podcast. I am open to all ideas and recommendations. I want to give you what you need, and I'm also going to share what's on my heart as well, because that's what we're talking about. And I'm excited to share more with all of you. And be sure to subscribe to the One Girl Travel YouTube channel because once I get some time, I will be uploading some travel vlogs. I have some videos from when I went on the Norwegian Prima, the cruise, to Bermuda that I definitely want to upload. I have some other things that I want to share on YouTube. I want to have more fun with YouTube because why not? Like I said, it's my life. It's my business. I get to share it however I want to. And I would love for you to join me over there. Also, a reminder, Germany. We're going to Germany this year, this December. And it's early enough in December that you can go to Germany, buy some amazing souvenirs, come home. You'll still be at home for Christmas. Um, this trip has been a bucket list item for me. Germany Christmas markets. If you have not experienced it, I mean, I have not experienced German Christmas markets. I've experienced Scotland Christmas markets. European Christmas markets are pure magic. They are just full of everything you can imagine a Christmas market to be. It has handmade crafts, gifts, food, the smells, the drinks, everything, the music, just the festivity. It's all there. And I'm so excited to share it with all of you. There will be more group trips coming up in 2025. I still have to figure those out. But if you want to experience solo travel and you do not want to do it completely on your own, this is a perfect opportunity to experience new countries, new experiences, solo travel, and traveling with me. You have access to me. We have a private Facebook group. We have monthly calls leading up to the trips. I'm going to provide you with all the information you need to comfortably solo travel. And I would love to have you join me. So go check it out. Go on onegirltravel.com, and at the top in the menu bar, you'll see travel with me. Click that. It'll take you to the page. If you have any questions about the trip, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to travel with you. Our Italy trip was the most incredible experience of my life, and I just can't wait to go on more trips with all of you and experience the world and just share so much laughter and fun. And yeah, I can't wait. So that's there for you. And until next time, my friends, I hope you have a great day. I hope you go out and you start doing whatever it is that you desire to do, and just go out, live your best life, enjoy it, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the One Girl Travel Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find out more about your host on our website, onegirltravel.com, or follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.